So question number 7. So here's a function f of x equals x squared minus 3. And the question is find f of 4x. So the solution is right here. So what we do is basically wherever you see x, and it's right here and there, just replace it by 4x. So on this side, instead of x squared, we have 4x, and it should be inside parentheses, squared minus. So it's important that you put the 4x inside parentheses, otherwise you won't be squaring 4, which you should. So 4x squared is 4x times 4x, which is 16x squared, and then you still have that minus 3. So this is your answer, 16x squared minus 3. And then in number 8, this is probably the hardest question. It's not too hard, but it's kind of long. And so here it is. So in part A, we're being asked to find f of x plus h. So just like the previous example, in this function, which is right here, f of x equals 4x squared minus 6x plus 6, wherever you see x, just replace it by x plus h. See, f of x plus h equals, this is 4 times x squared. So 4 times, instead of x squared, we get x plus h in parentheses squared. And then minus 6x becomes minus 6 times x plus h, and then plus 6. So what we need to do is here, just take the square of this. X plus h squared is, so you would have to write x plus h times x plus h and do the FOIL multiplication. So that would give you x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And then you still have that 4 outside. And then the rest is the same. And then here you would distribute the 4 over here and distribute this negative 6 over here, which you get 4x squared plus 8xh, see 2 times 4, and then 4h squared. And then when you distribute the negative 6, be careful with the signs. So it turns everything into negative. So this is negative 6x minus 6h, and then this plus 6 is carried on. So that's f of x plus h. So this is the answer to part A. And then in part B, the question is, so f of x plus h minus f of x. So we just figured out f of x plus h, which is this long function, and f of x is given here, so all we have to do is just subtract them. So here, so just write them. Okay, these two are the same, so never mind, it's copied. So here, just concentrate on the middle here. We have the f of x plus h, f of x, and now we're subtracting these. So when you subtract these side by side, or vertically, see this is 4x squared minus 4x squared, so they cancel each other out. And negative 6x minus negative 6x, so when you subtract the exact same things, they cancel out. So 4x squared is cancelled out, minus 6x is cancelled out, and this 6 and this 6, they're also cancelled out. So the only thing that's left is 8xh, and then 4h squared, and then minus 6h. So this is the answer then. And then, so that's B. And then in part C, we're being asked to find, so this difference we just found in B, and then just divide it by h. So all you have to do is take this, which is we found it, and divide it by h. So just take this and divide it by h here. So that means every single term here, which we have 3 terms, should be divided by h. So this is going to eliminate this h, so you get 8x, and here this is going to eliminate one of the h's, so you have 4h instead of the squared, and minus 6h divided by 6 is just minus 6, so this is your answer with the 8. So that's question number 8. So number 9, here's the graph and identify the basic function. So you can see that this is a parabola, and a parabola is, it has a vertex right here, and let me make this bigger. It has a vertex, two symmetrical arms. So this is a basic parabola, and the parent function, which is the basic function, they also call it the parent function, is f of x or h of x equals x squared. So this is the right answer choice. It's a square function. H of x equals x squared. And in terms of, so it's talking about some of the transformations. So let me just show you, and you can just Google graph of y equals x squared, and this is what it pops up. So this is the basic function. It's a parabola, the parent function y equals x squared. And it starts from the origin 0, 0, and so let me just add this here, copy this, and here. Okay, so this is the graph of x squared. So in general, this is the format y equals x minus h squared plus k. H and k are the transformations. So when you take this parent graph and shift it sideways, either left or right, you're basically shifting it h units. So if it's shifted 2 units to the right, this is going to be x minus 2. And if you shift it 2 units to the left, it's going to be x minus negative 2, so it turns x plus 2. And then if you shift it up, let's say 5 units, this is going to be plus 5. And if you shift it, let's say 5 units down, then it's going to be minus 5 on the outside. So going back to our original equation here, the graph, so we can tell that, imagine this parabola being right here on 0, 0, it is shifted 1 unit to the left, so the horizontal shift is negative 1, so h is negative 1, and then 1, 2, 3 units up. So the vertex from 0, 0, because this vertex is sitting at negative 1 and 3, so that means it's shifted 1 unit left, 3 units up. So when you shift this 1 unit left and 3 units up, h is negative 1 because it's 1 unit left, and 3 units up, k is positive 3. So now that you have x minus negative 1, that turns x plus 1 squared, and then plus 3. So the equation of the graph would be this: y equals x plus 1 squared plus 3. So that's number 9. So number 10 is the very last question we have. So let's just take a look at this. Okay, so in this last question, number 10, the graph of f of x equals square root of x is shifted 1 unit to the right and 2 units down. And again, you can just Google the graph of square root x, and you'll see that it's this, which starts from 0, 0, and it's a curve like this, which is like half of the sideways parabola. So that's the graph. So when you shift this 1 unit to the right and 2 units down, so you just shift 1 unit this way and 2 units down, so you can tell that this graph from 0, 0, 1 unit right and 2 units down, so maybe a little bit larger would be better. So 1 units left, 2 units down, it starts from here, so A is the correct choice. And when it comes to writing out the actual graph, the function, so just like the parabola, the the regular form is square root of x minus h plus k. H represents the horizontal shift and k represents the vertical shift. So when you say it's being shifted 1 unit to the right, h is positive 1. So it's square root of x minus 1. So this is already negative in the formula. So h is positive 1. So it remains just minus 1 here. And then k is the vertical shift, and the vertical shift is 2 units up. So that's, sorry, it was 2 units down, so it's negative 2. So you would just put negative 2 instead of k. So this is the correct answer then. Alright, so good luck with your quiz. Thanks.